Okay, the intro's over. Time to grab your drink and sit down. Come on, we're starting. Lights and the buttons and the bridges are going in. Here we are, yes! Wow, Thursday with the Bottom of the Glass Nation. I will drink to you. I will salute you right now. There's no better way to start off the show. Yeah, we have a fun time ahead. I'm telling you, it's time to drink. We must get to the truth. The truth is at the bottom of the glass, and I will admit I do not want to drink. I do not like alcohol. But I'm willing to go to the bottom of this glass for you to make sure that you get the truth and the answers in the front door, nuts and bolts terminology. No spin cycle here, just getting right to it. Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let us all introduce ourselves to your very own and my very own, our personal bottom of the glass. Oh, look at that. No training wheels. Not by choice, but no cokes. All right, so, before we begin, tonight's show is a little bit different. First of all, I'm in the studio all by myself. There is nobody here. I didn't even bring one of the dogs in to lay next to me. I have nothing. It is just silence. There's nobody to bounce stuff off of. There's no faces to see if something was fun. Nothing. I've got zero. I'm all alone. Much the same that you guys are, wherever you happen to be. So tonight, I'm going to let you ask some questions. Nothing's off the table. For the next hour, you can ask questions. Our wonderful, talented, gifted staff member, Josh Maddox, is he's in comments right now. He's going to copy and paste your comments, okay? He's going to put them in the sheets. The sheets are over here to my left, your right, and it's another place where I can see stuff. So if I'm talking here and I'm telling a story and your comment goes by, your question goes by, I'm going to miss it. But Josh is going to save the day. See, Josh is going to swoop in. He's going to copy and paste it, and it's going to be sitting over here. So this is your chance. This only happens about once or twice a year. We give you the chance to ask anything you want with Gen X Talks and personal questions. I don't mind if you want to know how one of my sons got a third nipple. I can tell you. Well, I can't tell you how, but I know I can tell you that it happened. If one of my kids has 9 toes, that was a terrible lawnmower accident, but she gets a 10% discount on a pedicure, so that's good. If there's something you want to know, now's your chance. All right? So I'm going to tell you what, before we get started, I told you I was alone. I mentioned that, right? So being all alone, I don't have anyone help me. I had to get my own whiskey. Oh, the humanity. I had to get my own whiskey, had to get my own drinks, change my shirt, get my hat, brush my hair, do my thing. No makeup artist tonight. No, I was all by myself. But that also means that we didn't have a chance to check the gear. I don't know if the lighting's right. I have no idea if the sound equipment's right. I can't tell anything. But we do have one way to get started. Now, for those of you who don't know how this works, let me tell you. We do a microphone check here. And we don't have a way to do a microphone check like Marconi did it Marconi in the early years when he invented the microphone in 13 he had a way of testing it, but we don't have that technology. And we're simple folks over here at Gen X Talks. We can't take our microphones up to outer space on the space shuttle. We can't swing them around by their cord, and we can't test them. We don't even have a Geiger counter here. So we have to test our microphones the old-fashioned way. Now, I'm going to pour this whiskey into this glass, and if you folks can hear it, then the microphone is working correctly. All right, shall we begin? In unison now. Listen up. Anybody? Are we good? Are we at least starting off with a working microphone? That's all I want to know. Do we have a working microphone? That's the whole point. I don't want to drink this. I didn't even want to pour it. God forbid I spilled some on me. I need to know that the microphone works correctly for you folks. This is all for you, 100%. All right, we'll get to the questions in a second. I see over here in the sheets, Josh is piling some stuff up for me. Thank you very much, Josh. But we have a few things to get to. We have some bills to pay in the beginning, which is a lie. It's not really a bill to pay, but it sounds good. It sounds like you're going to hear an advertisement. Real quick here, just to let you guys know, we are going to be at Collecticon. Yeah, we got our booth set up. We are going to be live and in person in Long Beach Saturday, 2 days from now. We'll leave tomorrow night. My daughters are going to come stay at the house and watch the animals. They will live here for a couple of days while we're gone. We will be down at Collecticon, and if you need a reason to go down there, Chuck Norris is going to be there. Okay, I don't know what's at Collecticon. I've never been to one. It sounds like it's a really big thing. They got 8,000 to 10,000 people each day that come through for 2 days, Saturdays and Sundays, and we will be having a booth there. We got a couple guests that are coming with us to do the booth with us. But we'll be there. If you guys want to go and check it out, get a ticket, go inside, look for us. We'll be there. We're giving away some free stuff. Long Beach Collecticon on Saturday, the 26th, so 2 days from now. So if you guys want to meet us there, you can. Trippy Dippy Pineapple, who's on staff here, and Two Bear, former staff member, is also going to stop by. So you'll see a lot of Gen X Talk shirts floating around the neighborhood, if you will. And yeah, we're just there to hang out and have a good time and have a drink of whiskey if they let us and tell a few stories and grab a few pictures. Anybody who shows up, I want to warn you. Anybody who shows up, I would like a picture with you for I would like to I want one with you. If you guys take the time to come down there, I'd like to have a way to remember it. So if that happens, then just don't be surprised. All right. So we did something out of character today. You know, tomorrow the podcast drops, right? Tomorrow at midnight tonight, 12:02 a.m., our audio podcast drops. And it's been growing and growing and growing. So we sat down to do the recording of it today, and we're just sitting here with all of our gear getting set up. And all of a sudden, my wife, Gen X Mom, goes, "Film it." I said, "What do you mean?" She goes, "Do a live stream right now. Members only, not members only. Just turn on the camera." I said, she goes, "Still hit the record button for the audio," which I did. But she wanted to do it as a surprise live stream. Now, I told her, I said, "You can't fuck up. There's no editing." You know, sometimes when she gets carried away, she'll say something that she shouldn't say. She'll use a word she shouldn't say. She'll bring up a name she shouldn't bring up, and we can edit it out. But not so much when it's live. So, to her credit, we went ahead and did that, and some of you got to see it today. We didn't announce it. We didn't tell anybody. It wasn't scheduled. It just sort of happened. We went live for an hour. So the podcast that is dropping tomorrow, you could have seen it live today. And then everybody figured it out, and everybody called me, and everybody emailed, "Why can't I see it? How come you made it private? It's on YouTube. I can see it right there. I want to watch it." Well, you can't. We made it private. Now you got to wait. That was a one-time thing. If anybody wanted to put faces with the stories that we're telling and we're talking and we're going, that was the time you could have seen it. "Well, I was at work today and I had school today." Look, I don't give a shit. That's not my problem. That's your problem, okay? But what works out to be everyone's problem is if you missed it, it's off. Now, I will turn it back on later after the audio gets out there, after people have had a chance to settle in and hear it. I will turn that on because some people have said they do like it when they want to see the faces. We can't do it every week. But we're going to do some. We're going to keep doing the podcast every week, every Friday, every time. And then if we do one a month or so that is live, we'll do it, and then you guys can watch it later. So letting you know that was a deal on that. So what you're looking for on there, talking about the live streams, it looked like that. It just all of a sudden posted. I think someone stole this, and I think and ran it around the block because it showed up on Discord. It showed up in a couple of emails, and we didn't announce it. But this is the first one that was ever just a live studio broadcast. We've recorded video to it before, but it didn't work out. But this one was just live. It was on air and out there. So if you go look for that one in a day or so, that's what you look for in the playlist on YouTube, and it'll be there, and everyone will be happy. I very promise. All right. Something popped in my head, and then it left my brain. Oh, I hate when that happens. All right. So while I'm still thinking of stuff here, and it'll come back in, then I'll have to change gears completely. All of a sudden, I'll go, wait, I know what I was going to say, and then I have to. All right, so let's stop over here with Josh Bo knows. Bo dropped in the entire Pledge of Allegiance, which I'm considering doing those again at the beginning. Remember we did those on the big shows? We used to do big shows once a month on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, like a game show. It was like just a huge game show. And we started off with the Pledge of Allegiance. Why? Because it got rid of people. It absolutely just got rid of people. You don't want to. If the Pledge of Allegiance bothers you, get out. Don't be a part of the live stream. Move along. All right. So Bo knows that I'm with you on that one. All right. Todd Wells, how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Roll Tootsie Pop? Hello, everybody from Florida. Todd, I know you're asking a very difficult question. How many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? I know. That's a popular question because it's very difficult to figure out. It's very subjective, but there is a right answer. Now, fortunately for you, you're gifted and talented, trained broadcast professional host. This guy, I grew up in that time period. I am a Generation X person. Takes 3. 3 licks to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop. And who told us that answer? An owl. Why? Because they're wise. Don't forget that either. All right, Scott Royston. Hey, General, you're handsome. Just ask me. I'll tell you. Scott, am I handsome? I got to know, buddy. That's one answer for the night. The real, Two Bear, you asked. The real Chuck Norris, how long is the barbecue going to last? Now, the reason Two Bear's asking that question, he changed his name to the real Chuck Norris, but it's Two Bear. And he says, how long is the barbecue going to last? Now, we know it's going to be like from 4 or 4:30 till 10 or 10:30. It's, there's really no set time on it. But the reason Two Bear's asking is he's got a leash and a collar, and his wife is going to be pulling for him to go home. Now, I don't know if she's going to be home pulling from 200 miles away, or she's going to be having the leash and yanking on it right here with him going, I'm going home, I'm going home, I'm going. I don't know. But Two Bear's only asking because he's got a leash. So anytime someone asks how long, anytime a Generation X person asks how long something's going to be, they either have to take their medication at a certain time, they don't want to miss it, or they got a leash and a collar and they got to go home when they're told to. I'm just, Two Bear, I love you, but it's what's going to happen. All right. What does that say? Stone voodoo, stone wodu, stone Yoda, stone something. General, where can I get a flag like that one? You can't. That flag, there's a story behind that flag if you want to know the truth, and I'll try to do something here where you can see a little more of it real quick. That is a hand-carved, hand-stained and painted wooden flag, and the story behind that, it's a true story. It's true, it's a story. We did one of our first meet and greets live in Las Vegas 2 years ago, and we showed up there, and we had a little space out there for everybody in one of the big bars. And this guy's name was Noster X, was his name, if I remember right. And he was a big fan of the program early on, and I know he ran into some personal troubles. I think Lionheart was actually, or maybe it was Mrs. Four, somebody was talking to him back in the day, and I don't remember what happened, but he drove this from, I think it was like Missouri. He made this flag himself. Took him 80 hours to cut the wood, cut each thing, lay it in there, snap it together, stain each one, paint each one, stain each one. Then he carved it. And on the back of the flag, there's an inscripted message carved into the wood, like with a router. And he put this in his car and drove from Missouri to Las Vegas. Took him like 3 days sleeping in his car, quick shower in a motel until he got there, and he presented this to me in person. He handed this to me after a 2,000-mile drive, and I got to tell you, this flag will always be either in view, in camera, or close to for a Gen X Talks. It was still in our infancy. I think it was our 1-year anniversary, and Noster X was a big part of the program. I haven't seen him in a long time, but this flag is his. This flag was a gift, and it was one of the nicest things we've got some very wonderful things from you folks, from the viewers that are out there, but this one was something because he took not only did he take the time to do, a lot of you have made things for us and given things to us and shipped things to us, and this was a little bit extra from this guy. He drove it. He threw it in his car and drove it across the country, and he showed up that day, and no one thought he was going to make it. And he did, because it was in and out of contact, and he showed up there. I think who was there that first time too? Two Bear was there, I know, on that first meet and greet. Allie from Boston was there, and it was a very unique thing for him to do. So this flag, where can you get one? Never. It's a unique, one of a kind. I'd never get rid of it. I'd never trade it. Never sell it. And Noster X always has a place in the studio at Gen X Talks, and it was that effort. Not that you guys don't give effort too, and there's a lot of it, but that was something really special, and it meant a lot. So anybody runs into Noster X, tell him to come look. His flag is still up because that's important. All right, where was I down here? Boom, 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 boom. Wow, that's weird. GX Powder General, what's your take on DeSantis hand raising last night? Yeah, he's talking about the presidential debates. They had a question on who would pardon Trump. They had a couple of questions where they told the candidates to raise your hand if you would support. Would you pardon Trump if you were president? The other one I think was Ukraine. Would you pull funding or would you support Ukraine? They wanted just a raise of hand because then I almost said contestants. The contestants can't. The debate went on so that the candidates couldn't back out with a speech. You can't back out by twisting your hand. Just simple. Raise your damn hand. Now, I think the one he's referring to, GX Patrick, is talking about when he was talking about pardoning Trump. And only one person just stood their hand all the way up. Vivek just put his hand all the way up right now. I'd pardon him. That's it. Everybody else went, so are you raising your hand? Should I raise? Yeah, I'll kind of raise it. And then you saw some people going like this, like they were, and then when they didn't realize what they were doing, like, well, I'm just waving it off. I'm not really raising it. They did it in such a politician's fucking way. Everybody who did that should just be kicked off the stage right then. I just think that was a half-hearted fuck. Every Republican up there should have said, I'm pardoning him no matter what. And not because he did or didn't commit a crime, but the way you fucking guys are treating him, the way you're fucking using the DOJ, the way you're fucking using you're out. You can't weaponize the government, so now you're done. I'm pardoning him no matter what. Because of how you're handling this. If you'd have played fair and you'd have done it right, then we'd have had a result, maybe. But because you're being so dishonest in your prosecution, I'm pardoning him. Fuck you guys. That's what I would have said. But you notice I wasn't on stage there. It was funny. Speaking of that, my kid asked me that. Gen Z kid today, he said, he was asking me some questions about the debate. And he says, do you think you'd have been good on the debate? And I immediately said, yeah, absolutely I would have. I'd have been great, just wedged right in there in the middle. And here's why. Because I would have given short answers. I would have taken the Joe Pesci approach. Remember from My Cousin Vinny? When they start talking about all this shit, they're like, well, the general over there doesn't even have a real general. Disrespectful for the general to use a general's name when he's not even a general. Wasn't even in the Boy Scouts. And I was in the Cub Scouts, so fuck that guy. But he's just a general. And I'd say, they go their big speech and they'd attack me. And when it was my turn, I'd say, yeah, pretty much everything that guy said was a lie. Fuck that guy and fuck you. I would have told him, you're lying. I would have said, that's it. And I would have kept my answers real short. The thing I hate about debates is when people sit there and read their resume. I can't stand when they read their in my state, when I was governor 12 years ago, I signed in 31 pieces of legislation and 17% of those legislations remained unoverturned by the time I left office, and 10% of those 17% helped 32,000 people. What the fuck, man? Who cares? I wish politicians would listen to the fact that as soon as they start talking and reading their resume in percentages and numbers, we fucking tune out. It's like, oh, come on, just let me pass the potatoes. I don't need to hear this shit. You wait until he's done. You could accomplish the same thing by saying, when I was governor, I did what I could for homelessness. When I was governor, I tried my best for this, for that, for the other thing. That's it. Just tell us what you did. Yeah, I signed a bill into law to help veterans so their veterans affairs would go smoother. And when I was in Senate, I tried to pass a law to help secure the border. You could just say that. You don't have to go, when I was a governor, we secured the border with passage of 7 laws, and border crossings decreased by 11.3% after dark on Tuesdays. And on Saturday mornings, it was almost nothing. We had almost no border crossings on Saturdays, as long as that rested on a Jewish holiday after the 3rd Saturday of the month. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like you sound like you're stretching for something to say, and we all make fun of that in sports. When someone says, wow, did you see that catch that guy made? NFL, did you see that catch that guy made? He's the only guy to ever catch a football left-handed in a domed stadium on a Thursday night after the 6th commercial was a Michelob Light commercial and 7 out of 10 cheerleaders were in uniform. What an amazing statistic. What the fuck are you talking about? But that's how the NFL gets. They're so desperate for they make up some strategic statistic for the guy that couldn't. What the fuck are you even talking about? That's how it sounds when the politicians talk. They make up these statistics, and I tune out. I don't even care anymore. Just tell me what you did in a sentence. Tell me what you're gonna do. That was it. Now you talk about Vivek came out there. I want to paraphrase how he went through that. He came out like a bull, but he kept going and he kept going. I think he got out over his skis a little bit by the middle of it, and I think somebody in the break pulled him back and said, "Okay, dude, you're kind of going a little haywire on that." But I don't think he'll win, but I think he would be a great vice president. I think he'd be good at that because he's got some policies and some initiative that's really rock solid. So anyway, that was. I don't mean to overtalk that one. All right. Kevin Grimes, Josh Maddox, I dare you to put in the sheets. Josh Maddox is the coolest, easiest going, most loyal, best friend ever. Kevin Grimes dared Josh to put in a compliment about Josh. Oh, no, you don't have to worry about that. I'll read it again. Josh Maddox is the coolest, easiest going, most loyal, best friend ever. Yeah, I'm not upset by that at all. I mean, Josh does that with great frequency. He has to. No one likes Josh. Even Josh's dog doesn't like Josh. So his co-workers don't like him. His family doesn't like him. People keep telling him to move out of his apartment complex every 6 months because they don't like. I mean, nobody likes. So we totally allow Josh to put in some appreciative comments in here. Because we can read him out loud. You guys hear him. Josh feels good. He gets to tighten up his shirt a little bit there and smile and look around the room. Hey, we love Josh. Everybody loves Josh. We'll just say all the good things. We should have a live stream all about Josh Maddox. And we should praise everything from the color of shoes he wears to how he tightens the gas cap on his electric motorcycle. We should do that for Josh one time. Talk about all that. So... there's a few things in here. Let me blow through the sheets real quick and then I'll get right to you. Phil Reith, are you on speaking terms with all your children? I have 7 myself and it can be fun at times when they grow up. No, I'm not. There is one daughter who I have no interest in speaking to for the damage that she's caused this family and other families. That's one. I have one son who I'm on speaking terms with him. Barely, but I am speaking to him because my wife told me I had to, and he is figuring out his life in a trailer that is half buried under juniper trees in Culver, Oregon, and we hear very little from him, but apparently he's fixing his life, and I'm supposed to be standing there waving with a tearful eye and proud when he finally gets his shit together. So I'm trying to build up to that point, but that's the truth. You want the truth? I will. You guys want to ask questions tonight? Tonight is question and answer night. If you got a question, we'll answer it honestly. All right, so let me see over here. We got the Junior Seau showed up. Hey, it's the kid. What's going on?
My mic on?
Your mic is now on.
I've been sitting here for so long.
You've been there like 1 minute. 2
1
minutes.
minute of you looking at me.
2
The rest
minutes
of it,
tops.
Not even.
Look, I haven't drank enough to deal with you tonight.
Look, speaking of Josh, I put him on a special assignment that will be fruitful later.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's funny because as soon as I put him on that assignment, I was like, dang, I sent the nicest guy on staff to do like
the dirtiest thing.
dirtiest work of all time.
Well, it's true. He turned in a file to you of all the problems with Lionheart, senior staff member. Yeah. So I think we should trade places. We can demote Lion and promote Josh just on the dirty work that he uncovered.
Look, I always say Josh Maddox is the nicest guy on staff. That's how I always introduce him.
He really is. Josh.
He says he's a nice guy.
Josh Maddox is not only one of the nicest guys on staff, he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in person. I mean, he absolutely cares about every person around him. He cares about every job he does, and everything he touches, he does it with care. And, he sings. He's a musician.
Uh-huh. I loved hanging out with him at Vegas. He was great. He was awesome.
He's a good guy. He's a completely good guy. And he's a musician. He goes out there and sings for people. And he goes out there and performs in front of people with a humble heart. He's always nervous. He's always scared he won't deliver what he's promised. And he knocks it out of the park every time. Josh is an all-around good egg for sure.
Yeah, I went indoor skydiving with that guy.
You went indoor skydiving with him?
Yeah.
Wait, when did you go indoor? I'm your father.
Las Vegas.
I'm supposed to know these things.
We were in Vegas.
I'm supposed to know these things.
It was Trippy, Sammy, Josh, and I. Trippy and Sammy didn't want to go.
Well, Sammy can't go.
Why?
Well, her boobs are so big, she would topple around in the wind and be all lopsided. She'd start to fly rate, the wind would catch a boob and boom, pitch her off to one side. No.
Trippy's like, back when I was an All-American quarterback, I dislocated my shoulder. He's like, I hurt my shoulder like 5 different times.
Trippy wasn't an All-American quarterback. Trippy was an All-American water boy for the quarterback.
Well, anyways, indoor skydiving was fun. Josh and I had a great time.
Hey, next time, let me know before you do that.
What?
That needs parental authority. Who signed for you to go do it?
I think Trippy was.
What are you looking around?
I think Trippy was my parental guardian.
Yeah, I want to know who's getting fired tomorrow. Who on staff?
I think Trippy signed off as my older brother.
Yeah, somebody had to.
Well, I was scared to death.
Trippy's going, don't say it, wave off.
I was scared to death, like indoor skydiving, but it was fun. Yeah.
Wait, why would you be scared of indoor skydiving? You can't fall.
Well, it was before I was bulking and hitting the gym, so I thought I was.
Oh,
cute.
here we go.
And then
Every chance you got, I'm bulking up, I'm hitting the gym.
Let's start.
Come on, let's start. Come on, how much do you press? How many pull-ups can you do? Come on.
I don't say that.
Here it
I
comes.
don't say that on stream.
Every time.
just haven't.
You can
No,
walk through the house.
Let me finish my joke, please.
Go ahead.
God,
Go.
I was like, oh man, it's like the fan's really powerful. They can just turn it up and I fly away, right? And Josh was like, yeah, I'm going with you. I was like, oh well, if he's not gonna fly away, I'm not gonna fly away. This
Yeah,
guy.
if Josh isn't going to fly
this guy.
away, nobody is.
Yeah, it's just this guy.
Josh is a feather.
Yeah, he'll fly away.
Yeah. So you do bring up how much you weightlift a lot.
When?
I don't know.
You, yeah, but not on stream.
You could. Well, it's annoying when you do it to me.
You're
can't-
the one who's always interested. You always
can-
ask me questions.
Look, I don't just randomly bring up your shit unless you do. But you walk through the house, you can hear a commercial on TV and go, "Yeah, I could lift that. I had the bumper of that truck. I could pick that up."
I don't say that because I can't lift. I'm not that strong.
He's always doing shit like that.
No, after arm day, we always make jokes that we're like gonna walk into Raising Cane's. Yeah, what do you want? Can I get the box combo right there? It's
I'd like that over there, please. All right, let me go back over here, finish some between the sheets. Mrs. Ford Watton gifted 5 Gen X Talks membership.
Whoa.
Who received those memberships? Scott Aarons, I think. The AVJ2, Chris Wilson, James Weston, Thrash for Life. Listen, everybody who got a membership, you can now go to the community section at Gen X Talks. After the live stream's over, and you can now, other stuff will appear that you couldn't see before. There's a ton of stuff now that's in there that was members only at behind the scenes stuff, and go back 2 years. There's some cool stuff in there, but now you can see it too. No go, member for 1 year. When you going live in the studio, 24 hour.
Oh Lord, I could do that.
We're having trouble with that
I can get
because
that 24-hour live done in about 30 minutes.
did you just say you can get a 24-hour live stream done in 30 minutes
Yeah, I get that.
on fast forward?
I'd crank that out.
All right. So we want to do now. Think about what we got going on here. Just come on, step back and paint the picture. Look at your calendar. So we have to be in Long Beach tomorrow. Then right a week after that, we have the big barbecue here at the house. People are staying, so they'll be here. People will be here for 4 or 5 days. Then after that, we go up to Eureka, where we have a meet and greet up there. Plus, we're hanging out with our son and his girlfriend, and that's on September 11th. We come back. We have to begin getting everything ready and plan for the East Coast trip. Once we do the East Coast trip, that's also Gen Z kid's birthday. We have Halloween. We come back. Then all the families come in this direction for Thanksgiving. Then it's Christmas. Then it's New Year's. And what's happening right after that? Right after New Year's, we have the third anniversary of Gen X Talks, where we go to Las Vegas, and we're going to do the thing again. We're going to rent the private area, and everybody can go hang out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Don't miss it this year, because it was great last year. Then after that, we have, I think it's a week, and we have the Pro Bowl event. There's a Pro Bowl event brewing for us to be at in Las Vegas a week later. So 2 weekends in a row, we're going to be there. And then right after that is Super Bowl week, so nothing happens on Super Bowl week. And then, so now we're into February. We just don't have time to do a 24-hour live.
See, okay, so we have a problem on the stream.
What?
So you see the numbers are yellow.
Yeah.
You still have the green screen effect on this, because you see the numbers are all faded
Well,
out.
that looks horrible.
Yeah, it was on the live podcast too.
That looks terrible.
Anybody, you guys check the live podcast? Hold on, wait, we'll work on that.
You know what? Can you change that? Can you come over here and click just...
Oh, I gotta come over there and just click around.
Well, if you don't want to, don't. I don't give a shit.
I don't get paid enough for this.
You don't get paid at all.
Exactly.
All right, so I'm going to keep reading some of these while the kid fiddle fucks around with that, and we'll see if we can't get those numbers yellow. Hey, there is something he's good at, and this is one of them. He won't fuck this up. This will turn out good. All right, where am I at? Zach James, question. Based on your sagely life experience, do you see the pendulum of our country swinging back sooner or later, economically, politically, socially? Very interested in your take on this. Zach, that was like 9 questions built into one. That's not very fair, my man. 9 questions built into one. Well, you guys know what's really funny is you guys know that we've been saying this for a long time. We've been talking about the pendulum swinging back the other way for about 9 months. With great regularity, we've been saying that. And why we've been saying that is because I have seen it. You know, we got our finger to the pulse on some stuff. And if you pay attention to what's going on, that pendulum is swinging. Look at the Redskins. Do you realize how big that is that the Washington Redskins get their name back?
Oh, wow.
That is where you have a pyramid and the ball is rolling down side. The boulder is going down the wrong side of the pyramid, and good people have stopped it. We stopped cancel culture quite a bit in the woke movement, and Me Too. We stopped it. Now we're pushing it back up to the top of the pyramid, and if it actually goes over the other side, if we can actually get the Washington Redskins name back, that boulder will start going down the other side of that pyramid with us pushing full force. The pendulum will be swinging back the other way. We are knocking shit down left and right. People don't care anymore. Just another one's coming up. Another big one's coming up. You know, the mask mandates are coming back.
Wow.
They're going to bring them all back. They've got a new virus that's traveling the planet, heavy in Australia. It's coming. And they're telling us right now, they're prepping us. Oh, there'll be some new shots and new mask mandates. Do you know how many liberals, how many Democrats are already aligned with the rest of us going, fuck you, we're not doing it? Review the monetization if it's yellow, would you?
Okay. One more thing. What's the Greek story you're referencing about the pyramid? He's like it was a hill in the story. He's like rolling the ball up the hill.
Yeah.
And
What
then it
about
fell down the other side, and he just kept like.
I don't know. I'm not.
You don't know that story?
I don't
gotta
know.
the name of the story.
I'm not really strong on my Greek mythology. I don't know.
Might not be mythology. What if a guy actually did it?
I don't know that story either. I'm just telling you. There's a story about
You know
that
what I'm
stuff.
talking about?
Nobody knows what you're talking about.
You
Not
gotta
even.
know what I'm talking about. That is a iconic story.
Then how come you don't know what it's about?
Because I can't remember it right now.
Okay, well, it's been 50 years since I've been in school. It's been 20 minutes since you've been in school. I think you should know.
Be a goldfish, all right?
Be a goldfish. Yeah, you don't remember shit. All right. So anyway, I don't know about the pyramid story and all that. So let me go back to what I'm saying
a hill.
here. Carl Gerard, member for wait, jumping away from me here. So Zach, I hope that answers your question.
What question did
He asked a big question about the pendulum swinging in every aspect. When the pendulum swings back, Zach, it's not just going to swing back politically or just swing back, emotionally or economically. It's going to swing back all at once, the same way it went the other way. And there's a lot we can talk about with that. But the thing that I like, and this is kind of funny because some of you guys will raise a glass to this, I've been talking about the pendulum swinging back for about 8 or 9 months with examples. With real examples saying, look what happened here. The pendulum is swinging. Look what happened here. Look what we talk about news stories. And now the pendulum is swinging even faster. And guess what? Now I'm hearing everybody say it. Every Tom, Dick, and Harry is talking about the pendulum in the country. So every swinging dick is good. The pendulum is swinging. Like, all right, dude. You know, if you guys want to listen to the program, is your show prep for if my show is show prep for your show, I got you. I got you. You can at least say something about it. I mean, show a little love.
An analyst?
What's that?
Hire you as an analyst, you know?
They could, or not even hire me as an analyst. Why couldn't they just go, hey, so I was listening to the General Talk the other day.
The General.
Why couldn't they say that?
Can't they just say Gen X Talks?
Gen X Talks. Listen to Gen X
They
Talks.
find you as a credible source. It's probably why they don't mention you.
How could I not be a credible
Always
source?
say you're a dumb mechanic in the middle of the desert.
Who plagiarizes everything?
Hasn't had an
So-
original thought since 1973.
So clearly, if I plagiarize everything, I'm stealing from good sources.
We actually talked about plagiarism.
That makes me a good source.
You're a good source finder.
Yeah, and I repeat
With
it.
no bibliography.
No bibliography whatsoever.
You know,
All
we
right.
talked about plagiarism in my college class. They take it way more seriously than in high school.
I listened to your thing today because I was in here working while you were doing that. And your college class, it sounds like if you even accidentally plagiarize someone's like, I wanted to step into your teacher and go, that's not plagiarizing. If you accidentally do it, you're not stealing it. That's an accident.
Well, the accidental plagiarism they're talking about is like if you quote somebody, but forget to say who they were. Like if you forget to credit them.
That's just forgetting your source.
Yeah.
That's not plagiarized. That's
we
like
had to read her rules. Like my teacher's rules were if you plagiarize, like I'm just going to give you a 0 if I blatantly see it's plagiarism.
Yeah.
If it's a 1, that means like I'm not sure if you did. The Spidey sense went on, and then the college version was like what she's supposed to do is if we catch you plagiarizing, you are gone out of the school. I'm like,
Fuck,
whoa.
man.
I'm like, Jesus Christ.
So that's
like
so
it's
that
a
means
public speaking class. I give
so
a speech.
what happens if accidentally 2 people have the same thought and say close to the same words? Then what? You're gone?
I don't know, man. Then she'd probably put a 1.
Okay, here's the way out.
Yeah.
No matter what you get caught plagiarizing,
Well, you
tell
just assume
them.
I'm going to plagiarize.
Well, yeah, it's you. Whatever you get caught plagiarizing, when they catch you at it, you just say, "Listen, I was quoting my dad," and then I'll come in and say, "I said that in 1983." He's quoting me. They can't argue with that.
But then there's no original thought, and I wouldn't get any credit. One thing, it's like, what if I'm just giving my speech the exact same topics in the exact same order as this guy? What if we just have the same agenda, you know? It's like, come on.
Didn't I just say that 2 people having the same thought? Now you're
Yeah, but
acting.
now you're saying I'm quoting you, which means I'm literally copying you.
I just said that. I said, what if 2 people have the same thought on the same topic? Then you come right around and say the same thing in different words. You know what that is?
See, that's paraphrasing.
That's plagiarizing. You're
I
already
use different
fired.
Words,
You're fired. Get out. I'm calling your teacher and saying he's already started.
I can't use any words in the English language because somebody else made them up.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. You better start with a whole new language, a bebop zebop language, and it better be
But
just
you
yours.
made up bebop zebop language. I can't say that now.
Make up your own. Beep boop 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 boop. And then that's a word.
Why would
Elephant.
you just spew
That's an
slurs
elephant.
at me? in
That's
that
not
language?
a slur. That was the word elephant in zebop bebop language.
I'm still learning. Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
So let's see what else we got in here. What's your stereo system preference? Mine is Techniques.
What?
That's a good question. The amps I've been running for a long time have been Yamaha because they got fucking heavy heat sinks and they'll push big speakers. And the speakers I've got in the living room, I was into this more a long time ago. Stereo question. I had Yamaha amps pushing Klipsch Audio. Klipsch Audio is the speaker that is in most movie theaters. So I saved up money and I wanted 2 of these speakers. This was like, I don't know, 15 or 16 years ago, and they were like $1,000 a piece for these speakers. And I saved up, and I saved up forever so I could afford these things. I finally put away enough money. I got my Yamaha amp. I upgraded, and I put the speakers on there. And by the time I got these speakers and my amp, I was so old. My hearing doesn't work. I can't tell if they're. I have to listen. I have to ask people younger than me. Does that sound really good? Because I can't tell the difference. It's just like with televisions.
I was about to say the same thing with television. You tell me, does that look really good or not?
I can't tell because now I can tell with that one TV you got in the game room that's a 4K TV.
Yeah.
When you put something on, like you were playing Star Wars in there one night, Return of the Jedi, and I walked in, I was like, holy shit! The depth I could see was so different than my TV.
It's because you're wearing your glasses.
I was wearing my glasses, yeah.
Yeah.
But
My
mine doesn't
dad-
do it like that
My
does.
dad, he only sees in 720p. That's max.
That is not true. I see better than
How
that.
many fingers am I holding up?
Well, all 5, but only 2 are pointed up. They're all up. See? Ah, ha, ha. Yeah. Didn't think I knew that,
I
huh?
was holding up 3 fingers.
No, you weren't. All 5 were up. You just had 2 pointing in the air.
Okay, how many fingers I got pointing in the air?
3, 2, 3, 5. Well, your thumb's pointing sideways, not
Oh
really
my
pointing in the
goodness.
air. All
All
right, so what's the other one in here? Let's jump in here. We got some stuff. The real Chuck Norris, which is a lie. It's Two Bear.
What?
Is Gen X mom feeling better? Surprisingly, yeah. She has worked out some of her pain issues post-cancer, and she is actually getting a good routine down. The only problem is there is now, like, most of her pain is gone, and she found out if she eats sugar, it really amplifies the problem. So we had donuts. I caught her eating them on camera.
Ah, man.
You know what? She tried to tell me that she had one bite,
Yeah.
and on the kitchen camera that looks at the back door so we can see if anybody's coming in our house.
Yeah.
I looked at that. She picked up and bit a whole half of one of those Krispy Kreme donuts, fed the other half to Reagan, the dog. Then she picked up another donut, walked over to get her coffee, ate the entire donut while she was waiting for her coffee, came back, got another donut, and then kind of looked up at the camera like, this is the only donut I'm eating. She was on 2.5 donuts. And then she tells me, I only had one.
Look,
I only had
can't
one.
talk about eating donuts. I'm a donut connoisseur, and I'm a donut fiend.
You're a donutaholic. If there's a word, yeah.
Fiend.
There's a new donut shop in town, too.
Oh, isn't it?
It's over by Rite Aid.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we haven't tried that yet.
Look, I'm
so she is feeling better if she stays away from the sweets. That's it.
I seriously am a fiend because he gets 2 boxes of Krispy Kreme.
Yeah, because
One
they're
for
small.
him and mom, and
One
the
for
dog,
everybody else.
and then one for me. I will sit there and gobble down as many Krispy. If there was a Krispy Kreme donut eating contest,
You'd win.
I'd win.
Yeah.
Do not let the small size deceive you.
This is a man who is he is large in stature.
I got a hollow leg.
You do. You can put away the donuts.
I eat a Caniac combo and a box combo in one sitting.
We have a lot to get through
10
here.
chicken fingers.
We're not biding for
like a
time
ton
here,
of
man. We're not
fries,
trying to time
3
filler.
pieces of toast.
How about you let me get to the job at hand? We got stuff going on, man. You're telling stories about donuts and hollow legs.
So you're allowed to tell stories and me complain about the sheets, but I'm not allowed to tell stories and you complain about the sheets.
That's almost correct. You're not allowed to complain
Almost?
about the sheets. Shut up.
What are you talking about?
I'm allowed to complain about your stories. You are not allowed to complain about mine.
You are ruining
Mine
the
are
vibe.
interesting.
You are ruining my vibe.
I don't care about
This
your
is
vibe.
my vibe, and this is where it's going. It's going straight down.
Okay, this is me. This is you.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit.
So I'm better at golf.
When I shit, you better get out of the way. That's how far down the ladder you are. Now let's go. Tori Randolph.
Peed on my dog. You peed on my dog, and I will never forgive you.
That was an accident. It was at night, and your dog ran under my pee stream.
No.
Yes, you did.
Peed on my dog.
I told you
And I
about
will
it.
never
I
forgive
told you that I peed on your dog, and I didn't mean
I know.
to. I was sorry. Your dog, it was dark, and your dog ran right under my pee stream. There was no dog there when I started to pee.
You think dog pissers did this?
You think dog piss did this?
That dog really tied my life together, okay?
Tori Randolph, member for 6 months. General, what's the wildest thing you and my brother and friends did in high school? Wow, do I really have to answer that?
What do you say? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was zoning out. What do you say?
We're gonna have to try something here. Let me put this up on the. Oh, you know what? How come I can't? Oh, there it is, right there. I don't know if I should answer that question.
What? I still don't know the question.
Well, the question was from Tori Randolph, and she says, "What's the wildest thing you and my brother's friends did in high school?" Hang on.
Tell about the truck. Tell about the truck with the janitor story. You know that one?
No, I don't know it.
Yeah, you do. You know the one where you try to hop onto the truck as it's going by?
I tell that story every time.
But that's a good one.
I'm going to put a poll up. I'm going to see if we should answer that or move on. All right,
Everyone
so
say
we're
yes.
we're moving on right now.
Everyone say
just to see what's going on here. Zach James, question based on we did that one already. Christian Betancourt. Who, what, where, why, when is the question. Christopher wrote who, what, where, when, who, what, when, where, and why. That is the question. All right, I got this. Who, me. What? Awesomeness. When? Right now. Where? Everywhere I am. Why? Because. All right, we covered that? That's the whole
Is
thing
that
in a
the
nutshell.
question?
That was the whole question, yeah.
You didn't answer in all one answer, though. You answered a question with
He
multiple
has a
answers.
question mark after each one.
But it was the question.
Okay,
It was
who,
one continuous stream of
who,
thought.
what, where, when, who, what, when, where, and why.
So you'd say,
If I had to have one answer for all those, God.
you could have just said it all at once. You could have said, me, awesomeness.
No, you just said I couldn't. I did individually because you put question marks.
But you answered
And in
each-
typical childlike fashion, you ruined the whole thing. So I rephrased it for you, princess, and I answered God. It's always the right
Your
answer.
high school diploma is really showing.
Lack of.
Yeah.
Zach James, question. We already did that one. He just won't erase that one for some reason. Carl Gerard, the famous Frenchman here. General, the live podcast was awesome. Great job. Would love to see you Let's love to see one again. A lot of great conversations in the comment section. That's the part I missed. We did the live podcast, and we have no way of knowing what everybody was saying in the comments because we weren't reading them. We weren't taking. It wasn't a live stream. It was just our audio podcast back and forth. So I have no way of knowing what's in the comment. I got to go back and watch the live stream and read you guys' comments. But like Carl says, there was a lot of interaction, a lot of good vibes in the comment section. I believe that because we didn't tell anybody we were doing it. A couple of the staff snuck in there. Trippy Dippy Pineapple caught on real quick. It happened to be on his lunch break from work, and he was able to watch quite a bit of it, if not all of it. And so he was a plethora of information on how that went. So that was a good thing. All right.
85% yes.
Doesn't count. It's not over yet. General, if you watched the GOP debate, who do you think won last night? This is from Hogs, Boss Hogs. I don't think anybody won last night. I think there was a few people that need to be kicked out. Chris Christie lost his ground and should just go. He was getting booed. He was leaving. He was a problem. He was an issue. He didn't benefit himself at all. I think Mrs. Fort Watton and I were talking about this earlier today. And I think we got to a point where we're like, well, we could see Pence coming back for the next one. You know, we see Vivek coming back for the next one. We see DeSantis coming back for the next one. Then her and I differed on she wanted Tim Scott to come back, and I wanted Nikki Haley to come back. I don't think Tim Scott or Nikki Haley either one's going to be a president or vice president, but boy, I sure loved Nikki when she was firing it off up there. I loved it when she was just mixing it up. So I'm bringing her back for sparks. Do I think anybody won? No. Do I think a few survived? I think 4 of them survived. I think we should. It just takes up so much time to get everyone's answer when there's that many people in the field. Get rid of them. Call them out. Just be done. Narrow this thing down. Let's get some real information. That's what I say. All right. Dum Stoned Yoda $10. General, how do you feel about the indictments? That's actually a good question. That's on my list. That's on my list of things. Let me show you how I feel about the indictment. Yeah, right here. I titled this, Who Cares? Former President Trump turns himself into Fulton County Jail in Georgia election case. Anybody care? And this isn't just an I don't care moment. Think about what this means. Do you care? Did anybody tune in? Like, can we see a picture of him getting out of his car, walking to the courthouse, walking into the jail? Can we see what's the expression on his face? Nobody watched. Nobody cares. Not even every news organization didn't even cover it. And why? This is one of the benefits to the liberal Democratic left constantly bashing us with Trump stuff. Nobody cares anymore. I know the sky is falling every day when Trump was in office. He's going to murder us all. He's going to blow us all up. He's ruining everything. The next day, he's blowing everything up. He's going to murder us all. He's ruining everything. The next day on the news, he's blowing everything up. He's ruining everything. He's going to kill us all every single day. Even my Democrat friends were going, oh my God, fuck. Every day it's the same thing as Trump, till nobody cared anymore, which is a good thing. Do you know how big of a story this should be? A president is getting arrested. He's turning himself in. He's going to be processed in. How big of a story. If you could go back to Democrats 10 years ago and say, there's going to be a Republican president. He's in office. He's out of office. He's on his way. And they arrest him. And nobody cares about the story. Nobody gives a shit. The first thing Democrats would say 10 years ago is, whoa, what do you mean nobody cares? That's the biggest story ever. How could you not care? Well, I'll tell you, you fuckers ran him into the ground so much that nobody's even listening anymore. Nobody even cares. You did it too much. You took an idea, you took a theory, you took a plan, and you did it so often, nobody gives a shit. Is it a serious issue? Of course. Does it need to be paid attention to? Yes, it does. Does he need to be defended and have a fair trial? Yes, absolutely. But the court of public opinion, even Democrats that I know, like, I don't even care. Yeah, he's getting indicted again. Because what was it for the entire Trump presidency? What'd they come out with every couple of weeks? We got him. Oh, we got him. Yeah, we got Trump now. And then a month later, okay, this time we got him. Month or two later, okay. But this time, he ain't going anywhere. We got him cornered this time. And we did that for 4 years. And he's out of office. Oh, now we got him. Another indictment. We got him. It's like, God, it's so much so. Do you guys wonder why they're hell-bent on doing this and bending the rules against Trump? They have to. They absolutely have to. Can you imagine how exhausted people are on both sides of even their own parties? Like, oh my God, again? I'm burned out on this. Oh, I know, we're getting him again. Now, if he actually got convicted, that would change things, but then there's appeals that come after that. So if he gets convicted of something, that'll be a big spike. Oh, it's a convicted felon running for office, which he can do, by the way. You didn't know that? A convicted, there's not a convicted felon. You can even have served time and still run for president. Yep, true story. Go look it up. So the idea is you get a news cycle of a spike if he got, but then there's going to be an appeal. It'll all go back to the way it is because they have desensitized us to this type of news. I don't even know that if Hunter Biden got arrested and he had to stay in jail before his trial, I don't even know how big of a deal that would affect us anymore. I would pay attention, probably not with the vigor that I should. I'm just burned out on the whole legal system fucking things up. The entire legal system protects Biden's and from stuff they shouldn't, and they go after Trump for stuff they shouldn't. And I'm so sick of it going fake directions on that I'm burned out on everyone's sensationalism. I've had enough. I don't care anymore. I want justice. I want things to get done. I like what a couple of the candidates said up there when they said, I'm going to fire the head of the CIA. I'm going to fire the head of the DOJ. I'm going to fire the head of the FBI. Get rid of them right now. That was a big thing. That's huge. Going without question, these guys have to fucking go. I don't know much about that, but I would say the top 2 or 3 levels of those people got to go. I think if you fire Christopher Wray in the FBI, the next 3 guys below him are just as bad. Let's go down to the mailroom. Let's put the guy who's been in the mailroom delivering mail in the Pentagon for like 5 years. Let's make him in charge. He's probably not corrupt yet. Let's go for him. What did they say in the Untouchables? You know, if you're getting a bad apple from the barrel, go to the tree. I'm not sure how that applies, but it sounded really good before I said it out loud. Didn't make as much sense once I said it, but it was still a good analogy. If I keep drinking, what I say will make more sense. If you keep drinking, what I say will become very believable. All right. Let's jump in here. Joey D, what's going on, Pops? What are we drinking tonight? Jack Daniels, old number 7. Walker on the walk. Hey, Gen X Dad, how are you? I'm doing well, getting by, just being me. It's the only thing I'm good at anymore. I'm trying to do that the best I can. And the Shoeless One gifted 5 Gen X Talks membership to Derek, Papa Smurf Ron, the Shaggy Rifleman, Moist Buds, and Doc McFly. All of you are now honorary members for the next month. Don't abuse it. And don't miss out on stuff. Michael Dawson, member for 1 year. Michael Dawson been around a lot longer than that. General, whoa, my screen just jumped on me there. Well, do you believe in raising the age to vote? Do I believe in raising the age to vote? Yeah, I would think so. And only because kids are very impressionable. I think their opinion sways without a lot of research. I don't think they take it as seriously. Some do, very much so. But I think the bulk of kids, you know, from 13 to probably 22, they just got one thing on their mind, and very little of it has to do with researching politics and finding out history and seeing what matters. So we might be better off with having a more legitimate vote. And by legitimate, I'm talking about people that have done their homework, so they're not just voting willy-nilly with whatever MTV says. That's my hastened opinion on the question. But I'm answering all questions tonight. If you got a question, tonight's your chance. You ask, and I'll go along with it. Shoeless One, member for 6 months. What about the East Coast tour? We're still doing it. We'll still be there. Curtis Carnduff, got anything to say about the new COVID bullshit? I kind of covered that a little bit. They're going to do the mandate again. A mask mandate's coming. They're going to try to keep people off the streets. And this will be a good way to mask everybody up. 6 foot distancing. And this will be a good way for Joe to hide during the debates, during the election, during the campaign. Tucked away, following the law, and doesn't have to look stupid, doesn't have to miss his lines, doesn't have to miss a cue, and certainly doesn't have to answer questions. So that's going to be a tough one. If they'll do a Zoom call for a debate, but then they got somebody in his ear telling him the answers, and he'll get those. He'll get those right. All right. Superior Fitness joined in, became an extra. Super U Fitness became a member, became an extra. I didn't see it go by. Make sure you guys say hello. Matthew Carlin, here is an off-the-wall question. What were the 5 W's when it came to adopting foster children? 5 W's, I don't know. I'd never heard that term before. Now, I'm not sure where you did your foster care and adoption. Might have been different than the state I was in. You'll have to educate me, Matthew. I don't know that one. Insurmountable Cali Cat, did kid walk in when the light was red again? Yeah. The light was red. He walked in. He does it all the time. I finally confronted him today on that because we were doing that on the live stream. He came. You guys could see the sunlight come in and hit me, although he was very quiet. I'll give him that. After it was over, I said, "What are you doing coming?" He goes, "The red light. That's for other people." I go, "Who else is fucking here? It's just the three of us. Were you worried about a dog coming in?" Anyway, yes, he did. Insurmountable Cali Cat. That is what happened. Let's hope. God, these are really small. Let's hope we hit slots. When are you guys having another meet and greet in Vegas? In January. Gen X Mom, my wife, actually has it scheduled. I want to say it's the last weekend in January. It's going to be real close to that. I'll put it up on the website shortly. But yeah, it's already been scheduled. She hasn't booked the rooms or anything, but that's coming next. She'll call. As soon as we get through with all this other stuff, she'll call and make the reservations. And I want to tell you the same thing as last time. There's going to be tickets to get in because we rent out a certain area, a certain room, and it only holds a certain amount of people. Fire marshal. And we maxed it out last time. We'll probably max it out again. So when the tickets go up there to come in, make sure that you get one. Don't just drive all the way to Vegas and then go, "Can I come in?" Because the answer is no. There's going to be people standing there not letting you in and letting you in if you got a ticket. We have to. We can't get us all kicked out because we cram too many people in there. They won't let us, so we'll just be aware. When it happens, be ready. Where we at? Fishlanders. Is he working at the Bell? He is not. He never got that job. Superior Fitness, new member. We read that one. General, in Ireland, the common man is fed up. I agree. $1 Million Pro Athlete Club says... He's disrespecting our national anthem. I didn't read that one. How do you and other Americans feel? I don't like anybody disrespecting the national anthem. I don't care if you have the right to or not. I don't like people burning the American flag. I don't care if you have the right to or not. I don't like it. If you have the right to do those things, I have the right to stop you. I can exercise my rights because if I'm there, I try to stop stuff like that. I don't care for that stuff at all. God, I'm gonna have to. Josh. I'm going to have to bring this fucking thing up to my face to read it. What did it say here? Bearded Barber Tea. General, how would you feel about beard balm that smells like whiskey, tobacco, and leather? Or gunpowder? I'd wear that. I would attract women far and wide. If I had beard balm that smelled like whiskey and gunpowder, Mrs. Fort Watton would be drawn to me like a moth to a flame. And don't you think otherwise. It's a true story. Matthew Carlin, Gen X Talks. What were the 5 W's? I didn't know that one. Where is the East Coast trip? Around Virginia, South Carolina, Boston, in that area. Robert Caldwell, welcome to Being an Extra. Thanks for joining up. Neko G, did you ever go to the range? If so, what caliber? We shot all sorts of stuff. We used to go in there. We didn't even bring our own guns at the end. We'd go in there and they'd let you try stuff off the shelf, stuff we'd never shot before. So that was always fun. You get some eyes and ears and pay for some lead and go. Dude, Robert Caldwell, do you ever think nonviolent felons should be allowed to own and carry firearms? Yeah, that's a tough one. I don't know that I have an answer for that right now, Robert. That's a good question. That's a fine line there. There's argument to be made both ways on that. Robert London, question for you, General. Do you think it hurts more to get hit in both nuts or just one? Of all the questions you could have asked me about Gen X Talks, about my marriage, about raising kids, and you want to know if I think, Robert London, if getting hit in one nut or two is more painful. The worst nut action that has ever hurt me in my entire life, and it's happened 3 or 4 times. It's one nut, and it's not getting kicked in the nuts, not getting punched in the nuts. It's the graze. Guys, Raise a glass right now with me. Put a thumbs up or hands up. I'll look in the comment section right now. Is it not the Grays? The one nut Grays. Tell me I'm wrong. When something goes by, you're like, did that hit my... It felt like it almost hit me right, and then, oh! And it's the Grays that nicks one nut, and it takes about 18 seconds, and then you feel it like you got a pair of pliers on your nutsack. Tell me I'm wrong. Anybody, if you don't know, you don't know. But I'm telling you, raise a glass or put a thumbs up or something if you've had it happen. The Grays can be the worst fucking pain you've ever... You want to throw up. Like, right on cue. I'm not wrong about that. Women, there's something you're never going to experience. I know you can kick us in our private parts and it hurts. Yeah, not like this. All right? Not like the Grays. I'm telling you, it's one of the worst things that'll ever happen to a man. At least to me. Oh, yeah, look at all the glasses and stuff. Telling you, ladies, pay attention to what's going on in the live stream comment section right now. All right. Christopher Betancourt, can you help me with my 700 R4? I rebuilt it and it still ain't working. How would you like me to help you right now? Tell you that you put your valve spring in backwards? I could help you with that. Ken Stevens, where are we at? All right, let me see. I'm going to have to read these again. I'm going to try to go through these quickly because they're piling up. Samuel Pancake General, how do you think Vivek did in the debate last night? I think he came out strong. Overplayed his hand a little bit about the middle, but I think he finished all right. The Breeze, hey, General, I know you ride. What kind of scooter you got? Heritage Softail 08. Hockeylicious, I love to hear. Whoa, and it just jumped on me again. Hockeylicious, I love to hear your dog's name, Reagan. But please address how different Republicans are different than Reagan. How different Republicans are different than Reagan, the president. Oh, they're all different. You have Republicans. The reason Republicans lose is because they're different. And let me explain this to you real quick. And this is important. So if you want to write something down, write this one down. You want to clip this out for a slice, clip this out for a slice. The reason Republicans lose often is because when there is a Republican presidential nominee or Republican candidate, he's not going to please every Republican voter. Some of them may say, well, I love his stance on schools, but I don't like his stance on abortion. I'm not voting for him. Which is going to happen. How many times have you ever had a candidate for anything that you completely agreed with 100%? Doesn't happen. Does it? Very rare. So the next Republicans come along, well, we got a group here, but we agree with abortion, but we don't like his Second Amendment. We're not voting for him. Why? Well, he didn't agree with me on Second Amendment. Well, you're not going to find a guy but that's what happens. Republicans stick to their morals. They stick to their values for the most part. You can always find people that aren't, but that's what they do. They stick to their guns. They stick to their morals. They stick to their values. And they're like, well, this guy agrees with 4 out of 5 things, but I'm not, he wants to raise taxes. I'm out, not voting for him. So when that candidate makes it up to the general election, he's going up against the liberal, there is tons of Republicans that won't vote for him because they don't align perfectly with every belief, and so Republicans stick to their morals, stick to their values, and say, well, I have to vote. I can't vote for him in good conscience because we differ on this 1 or 2 issues. And you say, well, how would that make a Republican lose? Because the Democrats are exactly the opposite. During the primaries, they argue and fight like cats and dogs. They scratch and claw. They don't agree with this guy. They don't agree with that guy. Some here, some there. This guy, no. This girl, yes. But in the end, whatever candidate goes up there, they set all of their morals aside. They set all of their values aside because they want their nominee to win. They don't agree with everything that their candidate is saying, no more than we do. The difference is they set all their morals and values aside, vote for their guy, and they get all the Democratic votes for that guy or girl or whoever. That's why Republicans lose more often than not. Because they stick to their guns all the way as they go over a cliff. If Republicans would learn to like, well, I agree with 70% of that guy, yeah, I'm going to vote for him. But they just focus on the 30% and hold their vote in reserve. It's very noble. It's also why we lose. What am I supposed to do? Go on TV? What's Sean Hannity supposed to do? What was Rush Limbaugh supposed to do years ago? Go on TV and say, everybody set aside your values and vote this way. Well, they said that as close to saying that as they could. Tough. All right. Josh, quit writing stuff down on the sheets. Make it whatever we're at. Stop there, and I'll get to them, but you got to stop. Let's do the last one. Gen X Mom, I'm dead to the general. I'm out. I love you guys. Sorry I messed up. What does that mean? Coyote Adventure, Gen X Mom, I'm dead to the general. I missed that. I don't know what he means by that. Something must have come up. Deanna the Moonwraith will be the last one in there. But we have to go back to our poll. How did the poll end? There it is. Should I 79% of the people were wrong and said that I should answer Tori Randolph's question. Tori had a question since I was answering for everybody, and maybe the truth is at the bottom of the next glass. We'll have to find out. Tori's known me since I was a kid. I've known her since she was 11 or 12 years old. I was really good friends with her older brother. So their whole family. I spent the night over there a bunch of times. They know me. I know them. Her brother was over at my house a bunch of times. She asked what was the craziest thing that we all did as kids. I've told you guys a story. It's a half-hour story about the cars that caught on fire because we ran that truck into a basketball pole till the headlights. We hit it so hard the headlights were pointing at each other. And it was in a church, and it was a church parking lot, and services were going to be in like 5 hours. And we caught a vehicle on fire trying to get it out. It was a long story, but I'm trying to think of some of the other stories we did that there was a lot of crazy stuff. I just seem to forget all of it till someone brings up something. I go, oh, yeah, that happened. We talked about how we all went out. We went hiking in the hills out of Sylmar one time. And below the Pacoima Dam, there's all sorts of flood tunnels. You can walk in them. They're not even barred up and letting you get into there. And they're for the overflow from the dam, which is always real low. And there's just concrete tunnels that carry water everywhere. And a lot of times they're dry and there's nothing in them. So we went walking through them one time hiking. We got in we're like 15 years old, 16 years old. We're in our camouflage, our fatigues, our tiger stripe, and we're all loaded. We're going to head through these tunnels, and then we go up into the hills. We walk way back in the hills. We did that all the time. And Ernie, this fucking idiot, I told this story once a long time ago. We were in, this tunnel was like maybe 7 feet or 8 feet tall, I guess, maybe 10 feet, 8 feet wide. And just, it's pitch black. We got flashlights, and we're walking, I don't know, half a mile or something. We're in this thing. He's at the very back of the line. And I mean just like 3 people behind. He decides it would be fun to turn around, face backwards where no one was, and fire off the shotgun he had in his hands. Without warning. Or much warning. He might have said something. And I'm telling you, I don't think I have ever heard, I have not heard so deep inside of my ears in my entire life. My ears were ringing for days after that. I didn't know what that meant. Well, you really rung your bell and your ears are hurting. Well, whose ears hurt for a day or two? But mine. Mine did. That fucking guy, I'm telling you, I was the only one, there was like 5 of us. I started punching him as hard as I fucking could. I took his gun away. I took his pistol away. I took his shit away. I was kicking him on the ground. I'm like, you motherfucker. Couldn't hear what I was saying. Couldn't hear what I was doing. And it was hard to see. But I just lost my fucking mind when he did. I'm surprised we all didn't have blood coming out of our ears. Fucking moron. There was another time we went shooting up. We left the San Fernando Valley, and we went up to go shooting out in the desert, and we were out we were off of Highway D 138 up in outside of Lancaster, outside of Roseman. We were between Quail Lake and, let's say, Roseman on the 138. And we were out there, and a friend of mine, Lauren, who was in the military, he was teaching us how to walk in formation to shoot where we don't shoot each other. We all had 22 rifles. I don't want to shoot a rabbit or something, or a quail, or out there. He was teaching us how to walk in formation and not shoot each other. And here's how you do this, where you can corner something, an animal, an enemy, or whatever. And we were out there for, I don't know, an hour or two. and a sheriff's helicopter in the distance. You could see it coming from a long ways away. And so we got the binoculars out. And back in the day, L.A. County Sheriff's helicopter that worked over Palmdale, Lancaster, and that was a big yellow and green 1950s long fucking thing with a little window on top. I mean, just this huge looking helicopter, big old blade. Whoop, 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 whoop. And so we scrambled to hide because we couldn't go back and hide the cars, but we were pretty far off the road from them. So it was coming pretty quick. And so we all we ran to bushes that we could get in because California desert scrub oaks, really small. Their scrub bushes are just, you know, we were wearing camouflage, but I don't know how good it was going to work. So we found little places that were bushes big enough to hide in. And I ran as far as I could, as fast as I could. The last second I jumped into one. Helicopter flew around for a while and then left. And we're pretty sure they called somebody. It's not like, oh, we gave up. They outsmarted. No, I think they saw us. And so when he left, we ran back to the cars and drove the other way. We went towards, we didn't go back into town. We fucking took off. The problem was when I jumped into the bush, I dove in there and I drug right across a cactus. I didn't even see it. It was hidden by other bushes. And I must have got 30 of those cactus quills in my leg. So now my leg is bleeding. It was my left leg, and I mean, it's soaking through. Now, it's not bleeding like I'm going to die. It just looks really bad. You guys have all had those kind of cuts where it looks worse than it is. This one looked bad. And so I pulled up my camouflage, put my sock. I'm like, all right, this fucking sucks. But it was bad. I pulled them all out, the ones that were still stuck in me. And I'm like, all right, let's just go home. So it's soaking up into my pants pretty bad. Even like it soaked up so much it went up into my knee area. And so we get back to Ernie's house, same guy. And I'm walking up the front driveway and his mother comes out. Oh, where have you boys been? What have you boys been doing? And she looks at me and my leg is completely dripping with blood. My pant leg is not bad. It's just, it looks bad. And I said, your son Ernie shot me. I don't know why I said it. I have no idea. But she passed out. I mean, she looked at me and blacked out and fucking hit her head on the concrete outside on the front porch. Boom, hit the house, hit the concrete. I was like, fuck. I didn't mean to make her pass out. I wasn't doing, but she just literally, because she knows my mom. My mom knew her. All the mothers knew each other. We've known each other since we were kids, and this was going to be an issue. And here we go. So anyway, so I went in and cleaned up. She finally came to. I think they ended up taking her to the hospital, got her head looked at because she fucking hit her head pretty hard. She was a little lady, and she came down. I mean, it sounded like a watermelon hitting the fucking concrete. So I don't know if that's what you're looking for, Tori, but there's a couple. There's a couple Ernie stories. I remember one time we took a rope and we dared. See, Ernie was always the kid who was trying to hang out with the group. There was a group of us, and we were just cool because we knew we were fucking cool. He was always the one trying to hang out with us, trying to hang out. Can I go? Can I go? Can I go? When he first started hanging out, he was in 7th grade. He had a perm. And after like 6 months, I remember telling him, I said, look, dude, you're never going to hang out with us if you got a perm. Get fucking straighten your hair back out. He came back like in 2 weeks, and his hair was straightened out. He's like, now can I hang out? I said, nah, we'll see. But he changed his hair to hang out with us. So everything we did to him was like, well, let's try you first. And I remember one time the church had just built this new building, and it was like 3 stories tall, and we had keys to it because we were the janitors there, and I put him on the roof. And we were saying we were going to lower him over the side, see if he could go all the way there, just to see, had a long rope. And so we push him over the side and say, okay, climb down the rope. So he's climbing down the rope, and he gets to the bottom. He starts screaming, and I lean over and go, what are you yelling at? It's like 1 a.m. or something. And I go, what are you yelling at? He goes, there's no more rope. And I said, and I looked, we couldn't lower anymore. We didn't have a long enough rope. Nobody bothered to check to see if the rope actually went to the ground. So he's hanging on the bottom of this rope, and I can see him, and he's still 20 feet off the ground. And I told him, jump. He goes, I can't jump. I'm 20 feet off the ground. I said, it's not that bad. Just go. And he goes, my legs are kind of numb and tingly from climbing. I'm not going to be able to break my fall. I said, well, look at it this way. Can you climb back up? He goes, no. I said, all right. We can't pull you up because you're a little chubby ass. So either you let go or we're letting go of the rope. Either way, you're going down to the concrete. So he let go. I actually think if he just gave us like another minute, we'd have pulled him up. I don't know, it's just being a dick. And so he jumps and lets go. Didn't break anything, didn't sprain anything. He walked around strutting his stuff for weeks. Like, look at me, I jumped off that rope. I climbed over the side of the building from right about there. As he's telling all the girls, I was right about there. Of course, when he's telling that story, The rest of us are walking around going, yeah, it's he jumped about 20 feet down, but the rest of us, we jumped 25 feet down. We were up a little higher than that when we did it. Just his turn. Let him have his moment there. If he's thinking 20 feet or something, just total lie. But we're in high school impressing girls. We didn't know. That was about the same time that girl who I've never been able to find. I have looked for this girl for years, and her name was Georgia Quesnell with a Q. And she wanted to be my girlfriend. She brought me a pizza at 2 a.m. She worked at a pizza place with Matthew and Edward Perillo. I haven't been able to find those guys either. And they made this pizza. Their dad owned this pizza place. I think it was in Burbank. They had this great pizza. And she brought me a pizza one night that had to be this thick. And I thought, this is going to suck. No one can make a pizza that thick without fucking it up. That was the best damn pizza. I never had a pizza that was like a big fucking calzone. And she did it and made it there. We never became boyfriend and girlfriend. We kissed one time, and that was it. But that was right about the time that Ernie was jumping off the rope, and then we all claimed victory. I got myself a pizza from Georgia Quesnell. I have no idea where she is to this day. So to Georgia, I'm going to drink this one to you. I have no idea where you are, sweetheart. Too bad we never got together. I hope you're doing well. So now we'll drink to Georgia Quesnell and the Perillo brothers and Ernie, wherever his chubby ass is. All right. Does that help? Does that help cover your stuff there? Not even sure if Tori's still around anymore, if she waited a long time for her story, but you voted, I said it. All right. Now, I told Josh to quit putting stuff in here. That motherfucker better quit. All right. So let's see what we got before we end up tonight. Nightbot, member for 13 months, gave a little salute there, Bottom of Glass Nation. Okay. I'm not sure. Danny H. But the real question is, who owns the cocaine that was found in the White House? One of, if not the most secure facilities in the world. There's no way to. They know who it was. Let's be clear on that. Everybody knows exactly who it was. That place is highly regulated. If you leave a pencil on a table someplace on a tour, they know 5 minutes later you're the motherfucker who did it. And they've got the pencil down at Quantico getting x-rayed. So they know. They're just not going to tell you because it's an embarrassment, so they're not going to do it. Nightbot member for 13 months. We covered that one. Nightbot gifted a Gen X Talks membership to Jason Ableter. Insurmountable Calicat member for 1 year. Follow-up question on voting general. Vivek last night said young adults under 25 should have to take a civics test in order to vote. Do you think they should? I think that was a good point. I think you should know about the government you're voting on. Because so many people don't know anything. You've seen those videos, YouTube videos, where they come and say, how many states are there in the United States? What's the capital of Kansas? How many, what's a senator? And no one knows anything. Why should you get to vote? Because kids who vote like that, without any knowledge of what's going on, the only way they vote is by what's going on around them. What MTV tells them to do. What the movements tell them to do, what the media tells them to do. I don't think that's fair. If you're going to vote to fuck up my country, you should at least have to know what you're fucking up, in my opinion. A civics test would be good. I'm kind of for that. Dean Guerrero, have you ever gone bow hunting? I have not. I've never been a hunter. That guy, General, did you read about Oliver Anthony's reasons for turning down $8 million contract? He's a real dude. I skimmed over part of that. I didn't see the whole details on what. Maybe there's something more I missed, but yeah, props to him, man. Deanna Moonwraith, do you and the family still keep in contact with the foster kids? No. They know who I am. They know my name. They know where I'm at. If the foster kids ever want to reach out to me, I would absolutely have contact. Just so you know, Josh, you can put anybody who does a super chat up there who gives $5, $10. Make sure you put those in here. I'm not taking a bunch of more questions, but I don't want to miss somebody who donated a couple of bucks of their hard-earned money. That wouldn't be fair. So make sure you put those in there, Josh. Foster kids is a tricky thing, and when you have foster kids for a while and they go back to their biological parents, you don't want to interfere. And I've had this rule in my life since the beginning. But what I mean by that is, let's say you're taking care of a 13-year-old boy. He's with you for 6 months. He lives in your house. He learns your ways, loves your family. You love him. Everything's going good. And then you send him back. One of the first things he does going back is he tells his parents, well, this is the way this guy did it. My foster family did it this way. My foster family loved me this way. You can't do that. He can't run to me and go, my family's still bad. Take me back. You can't have that kind of relationship. You have to tell him, this is your biological family. This is what you have to do. Don't come running back here and knock on my door. If you have a problem, go to your social worker, go to your caseworker, go to CASA, call cops if it's bad. But I can't be an outside influence because that happens. They come back like, well, my dad says this, my mom says that. It's like, do what your parents say. Well, what do you think about what my dad said, what my mom said? Just do what your parents say. I cannot undermine. And even if you endorse, you say, yeah, that's a good idea. What if it's not? Now you've endorsed a good idea with the kid going back to his parents. What if he comes to you with something? What are you going to tell him? No, that's not a good idea. Don't do it. You have to find a way, in my opinion, with foster kids to tell them you enjoyed their time here, you love them, and you wish the best for them, and you hope you never see them again because that means their biological family is working out the way it's supposed to. But you got to let them know you're always thinking about them. And if they turn 18 and they're a grown-ass person and they want to come find me and sit down, absolutely. But I do not want to interfere with the foster system and the biological parents at all. I would not want to do that. It's a difficult thing to get into the middle of. Justin Bennett, hey, Mr. General, I have a question for you. The request, the question, do you have any plans on coming through Indiana on your way out east? And can I get a birthday shout out for my daughter, Jade? Jade, happy birthday. You know what? Your dad was so uncool, he didn't even say how old you were. Couldn't say my daughter's 8, my daughter's 13. Couldn't say my daughter's 50. Maybe this dude's 75. You don't know. Nothing. Just a generic birthday for Jade. Well, Jade, happy generic birthday to you, however old you are. I don't know if you got 3 candles on your cake or a forest fire going on. And I'll never know because your dad wasn't thinking clearly. Shame on him, but happy birthday, Jade. No, we're not planning on going through Indiana that I know of. The Breeze, hey, General, I know you ride. We took care of that one. Brad Baker, $5. Do you and the Gen Z kid have a favorite secret menu item from In-N-Out Burger? Yeah, I do a 4x4 with regular onions. My wife does fries animal style, protein style, and she always does the lettuce wrap. And I think it's the animal burger, double animal style. She does it she does the lettuce wrap on that. She's gotten into some other ones that I didn't even know about, like the Flying Dutchman or something. That was I don't know. She's done some other ones. Some stuff I'd never heard before. Robert Caldwell gifted 1 membership to Gary Allen. Thank you very much. Dean Guerrero, ever go bow hunting? We covered that one, Josh. We covered bow hunting, man. Harley Hard Drive, $5. Shout out to my little girl, Mini Hard Drive, and my little man, Hero Hard Drive, watching Gen X Talks with their old man. Harley Hard Drive has Mini Hard Drive and Hero Hard Drive. That's badass, man. Justin Bennett, General, I ran out of letters. It's her first birthday. I'm sorry, Justin. I'm sorry, my man. We've moved on, buddy. We can't even come back and say your name again. It's terrible parenting. You should question yourself right now. All right, so I'm going to save that. Save the Coyote Adventure thing. Let me try to figure some of that out. Did I miss somebody in here? Is it a kill a cat? Mr. General? Yeah, I think we got it good there. So listen, I'll pour another one. I will. We had a ton more to get to in the pictures. We had stuff written down in the Book of Lies, but I was pretty sure that you guys would carry the day with questions. Remember, we don't do this often. You guys could have asked anything of me, my wife, the kid, and you guys, some of the questions were okay. They were good. But I mean, when you have carte blanche to ask some serious questions and you don't take it, it's kind of on you. I got to bring something else up too. Mary Mathis, who's been in here a lot of times. Sometimes you see her name go by in green. She's been a friend of the program for a long time and a personal friend of my wife and I for years and years and years and years and years, way before Gen X Talks. She's coming out to help my wife because my wife is going to run out of energy. My wife is going to run out of steam. She will damage her body during these 3 or 4 days and have to disappear to try to take medicine and nap and a hot bath to get back to where she can hang out with all of us at the barbecue. Mary Mathis is going to come in to try to make it where she doesn't do a lot of the heavy lifting, which is why I said to go ahead and do the catering. And see, my wife comes in here as a dog's bark. Even though lights on, Faith, red light was on. Don't commit. She's flipping me off. So Mary Mathis is going to come help out. The catering is going to help out. She's still going to be sore and tired and pushing down the road with that. But Mary Mathis had a really weird idea. I didn't bring it up in the podcast today, so I'm not duplicating myself. I didn't even tell my wife this. Mary Mathis goes, okay, what we should do, I was on the phone with her today. She goes, okay, what we should do is we should raffle off or silent auction off a dance. And I go, what do you mean a dance? She goes, people that want to dance with Gen X Mom can pay. And if they're the high bid, they get to have one dance in public with Gen X Mom. And I said, okay. She goes, and one with you. I said, no, we're not doing that with me. She goes, why not? I said, because you don't know the assholes that are going to be here at the barbecue. There's going to be some dillhole here, some guy who's going to pay like $50 and go, I'm high bidder, come dance with me. And I'm going to have to refund all the money, or I got to dance with this guy. And then you guys are going to videotape it and put it on YouTube of me. I'm not doing that. And she goes, yes, you are. So now we have to do some ground rules. But at the barbecue, there's all sorts of weird little competitions going on, but Mary Mathis got the big push for dancing, and I don't know that I can participate in that. Unless she was making it girls only. She goes, no. She goes, General, if a guy buys a dance with you, if your brother-in-law, the Sun Valley Fox, puts in $50, you're going to dance with him. I said, I am not doing it. I'm not even doing some disco moves from across the room pretending I'm doing. That's the kind of girl she is. So when you guys see that come up, you're going to see some stuff. Okay, that's twice. You fucking came in here in the dog bark. Now you're on your phone and it's loud. You are a total that's my wife. Total unprofessional. She's just sitting in a chair, fucking up. I think that's her way of telling me to get off the stage. This is like in the Oscars when the music comes up. I'm still thanking people and they're fucking with me. All right. So listen, Mrs. Fort Whiten goes, what if the same person dances with you both? Well, then I don't care if it's a guy, because I'll just pretend that I'm watching. I'm not going to be part of it. I'll just move back and forth a little bit. No, I can shake my booty if I need to. Don't think I can. I can dance, not as well as my wife, but I can. I got a little rhythm. So listen, hey, Eve on a Stick's back 9 months. He's an extra. Thank you, guys. This is for you guys. Let's wrap it up. Let's end this on a good note with a shot or a drink. Whatever you got in your hand, raise it right now. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for wasting, what was it, about hour and a half of your evening with Gen X Talks. I don't know there's going to be a world show tomorrow because we're leaving for Long Beach. I'm going to try to work it out. That's your fair warning. If you're part of Patreon, you get your warning in person. So some of the staff can put up Patreon. There's two things I want to tell you. One, join Patreon. It's $1. But if you join, you know what we're doing, where, and when. We send you an email. Just says, hey, we're going on here, we're doing this, then you know. The other thing is those big mugs that Gen X Mom's been doing. I don't got one, says one behind me, but those big mugs that she did, the used to be the General's 9 inches last year, they're personalized. They're coming off the market either today or tomorrow. If you want one, this is it. We're not doing it for money. We're doing it for nostalgia. If you want one, this is your time to go buy one. They're expensive. They suck because they're heavy to ship. But if you want one, you got to go like tonight or tomorrow. You don't get one. That's it. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gathering around from all ages, thank you for tuning in. This one is for you guys. Oh. That one says the General with KGXT Studios. I think that came from Loud One. I got to go. I got to get out of here. I got to run. I really appreciate everything you guys do for the program, for tolerating my kid with all of his nonsense. We got a whirlwind of stuff we're doing over the next 3 months, but especially the next 3 or 4 days. And then the week following, getting ready for the Gen X Talks barbecue, which those of you that are coming, thank you so much for some of you are getting on planes and flying out here. I can't wait to do this with you guys. It's going to be so much fun. I appreciate all of you. Thank you guys for tuning in around the planet, whether you're listening on AM, FM, Sirius XM, or perhaps on the Armed Service Radio Network. Remember a couple things. Wherever you go, there you are. And the other truth is, I'll catch you guys on the flip side.